Hey guys, I'm Jax and this is my spoiler review for the third episode of the final season of Servant. So in the first couple of episodes of Servant's final season, we have been treated to the invasion of the birds, then the invasion of the bed bugs, which I am totally over. But now we have a new, different kind of invasion into the Turner's household. That of elderly women? So this episode focuses on the new live-in nurses Bev and Bobby, who I will affectionately refer to as B1 and B2. I found this episode to be maybe one of the funniest that we've had in Servant for a long time, at least until obviously towards the end it gets all creepy and spooky in classic Servant style. But the start of the episode I found really amusing, and it felt like a breath of fresh air and a breaking of tension that I think we needed, especially when we're going to look at this season as a whole, where probably from next episode onwards, it's going to be breakneck, horror, tension, thriller, and then with all the reveals and revelations that we're going to presumably get in the back half of the season, I found this a really kind of fresh episode to have such silly, fun, humorous moments. I think the main thing I had a lot of fun with was just the idea that these ladies come into this house, and yes, maybe one of them might still be, you know, a spooky cult member because we didn't see her back and any scratches there. Or maybe they've realized that that's an obvious sign that she's going to check, so they're putting, you know, a little spy in the house that doesn't have the scars. We don't know yet, but I just love the idea that Leanne has completely misunderstood the situation and that these old ladies and their overbearing kindness and kind of slightly condescending, you know, way of trying to help everybody, and she just goes, nah, they're cult members, they can't possibly just be very nice ladies trying to help us. I just don't believe it! And of course the main tension of the episode, underlining all these fun humorous scenes, is, are they cult members, are they not cult members? And whilst they have revealed that, I don't think they have revealed that, but they have revealed one thing. Are these elderly women sexually active? That was the main question I had. I didn't even care if they were spies for the cult. Who cares? I wanted to know, are they sexually active? They are. We found out they are. Julian found out the hard way. One of my favorite side things in this show is just all the delicious food porn shots when Sean is cooking. I just get so jealous that I don't have a guy sitting in my house just cooking the most elaborate, beautiful, amazing meals for me all the time. I would kind of love to be Dorothy, like obviously back broken, not good. Obviously not good. I'm not saying I want my back to be broken. But if you told me I had to just sit in bed all day just watching TV and a giant, charming, handsome man came in with just the most delicious food you'd ever seen whenever I wanted, I wouldn't say no to that. That's all I'm saying. So it really did hurt this episode when she just keeps throwing the food back in his face. And yes, I understand. She's all sad and all that stuff. But he's really trying, and it's like, it's his way of showing he loves her, even though maybe she doesn't deserve that love anymore. And so that moment where she actually asked to have the pancakes brought back in, it was just like, it's such a little moment, but it warmed my heart. Like, I cannot tell you. Mostly because I really just didn't want to see those blueberry pancakes get smushed into that little smoosh thing. I'm showing my hand. I'm actually not the fancy man I appear to be in these videos because I do not know what that thing is called. The sink with knives in it. So as Dorothy tries to take one step, she then ends up going, because, you know, this is Servant, going to the supernatural, to the weird, to the spooky, and we have a big old seance scene. And once again, just like every other scene with B1 and B2, we have a scene that comes across as very funny and silly with a seance that seems very clearly like kind of constructed and fake and false, where she's like, B, not B, and Julian's calling it out, very rightly so, even though I feel like he knows he lives in a world where there's weird supernatural stuff, so why wouldn't he be more open-minded? But I guess he's just that cynical kind of a guy, which is fine. But then, of course, the seance takes a turn and it gets all spooky and weird. I love how any scene like this kind of builds up just with such intense tension where you're just like, is Dorothy going to find out finally, what happened to Jericho, what she did to Jericho, and why this whole series is being crazy and what's been going on and all the things? Unfortunately not, we just get a little more teasers, but one thing we do get, and then later on Leanne seems to have a vision, or maybe just a dream, but it kind of felt like a vision to me, where you get a post-apocalyptic looking landscape outside, and inside, just like she said in the seance, B1 or B2, I don't know which one it was, they discuss this black smoke monster creature, but not like one from Lost or in Supernatural where it's just wispy smoke flying about. This seemed to kind of be a human form kind of somewhere in the shadows. So, my question is that just like a manifestation, like a creepy, spooky vision version of Leanne? Is Leanne actually not a corporeal human in like just, the normal sense? Is she something that can transcend into something else? Or is, this just kind of a visual representation? A metaphor or whatever? I don't know. I'm so split on the fence if I want the show to get so weird and crazy where she like explodes into a black smoke monster. I kind of feel like I'm hoping it's just kind of a metaphor and she's just having kind of a nightmarish vision that isn't necessarily going to come true. But I would be curious, do people want it to get that crazy? Because it appears if that is some kind of vision of the future she might be seeing, it's going to really get that crazy. Outside was super apocalyptic. Every time we turn on the TV, it keeps kind of showing this kind of madness and chaos that is happening outside of just their house and the street. Because everything does feel so contained in the house for so much of the series, to the point where the house is rotting from, I don't know, the grief that they're not dealing with, or something metaphor. I'm also super curious what people think, because I'm kind of unsure how to read it. But all this kind of talk we hear on the TV of everything escalating, getting crazy, and everything's going to hell outside of this house, is that somehow connected still with Leanne? Because I've always seen the house rotting and falling apart as some kind of metaphor connected to Leanne. Regardless of how you kind of want to read it, it seems very connected to Leanne and to the family not moving on with their grief, and her kind of slowly kind of taking over the house. And then the house is literally falling apart, showing that really she shouldn't be there and they shouldn't have let her kind of bring this Jericho back. But how does that kind of relate to everything else going crazy outside and all of that? I'm unsure, so if anyone has any really cool thoughts and theories, speculation on all of that, I'd love to hear it. And just in case we were having a little bit too much fun with all this kind of fun nurse energy and weird, quirky kind of, things going on with Leanne saying F you to post-it notes and all this kind of fun nonsense, the episode ends with a terrifying shot of Leanne cuddling up to Dorothy as she just lies there awake, unable to move. Horrifying, amazing, love this show. So excited to see more. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below. I would love to know everyone's thoughts, theories, and speculation on what is going on